Hello, this is Cody from GG Servers. Today we're going to learn how to set up plugins on a Forge modded server with SpongeForge. Plugins and modded servers are both very popular server types. However, it's important to note that plugins and mods cannot be used together on the same server. The main reason why they cannot work together is because plugins extend the existing features of Minecraft, creating new content within the framework of the game. Mods, on the other hand, introduce additional content modifications to Minecraft, altering the game's mechanics and adding new elements. As mods deviate from the vanilla Minecraft experience, plugins cannot utilize modified elements introduced by mods. As mentioned earlier, the compatibility between mods and plugins is not possible due to the fundamental differences of the game introduced by mods. However, we can achieve something similar using SpongeForge. So what is SpongeForge? To put it simply, SpongeForge is a mod that allows you to use Sponge plugins, quote-unquote plugins, on your server. However, since they are not actually plugins, you will need to install the Sponge plugins into your mods folder, like a regular mod. A perfect example of a Sponge plugin is LuckPerms, a widely used permission plugin. It has both a traditional plugin version and a Sponge version, allowing modded servers to utilize its functionality. As of the making of this video, SpongeForge works for the following server versions. Now that we know what SpongeForge is and how it works, let's go ahead and set it up on a server. First, log into your multi-craft panel and stop the server. Once it is stopped, we can go ahead and start setting up SpongeForge. We will need to download SpongeForge from their website, but for this video we'll be using the Pixelmon mod pack, which is a Forge 1.16.5 server. So go to spongepower.org and click on downloads. Here you'll see three choices: Sponge Vanilla, SpongeForge, and Sponge API. Go ahead and click on the download button for SpongeForge. Make sure to choose the correct server version. Since our Pixelmon mod pack is running on server version 1.16.5, we will need to go to the drop down menu and choose 1.16.5. Once we have selected our version, go ahead and click download. Once the file is downloaded, open File Explorer and right click on the file to rename it and add a _AA before the file name. It should look something like this. Once the file is ready, we can connect to our server using FileZilla. Then simply drag and drop your SpongeForge file into your server mods directory. Once the file is uploaded, we can go back to Multicraft and start the server. Now that we have SpongeForge installed, we can go ahead and install the plugins we want. So for this example, we're going to install LuckPerms onto our Pixelmon mod pack. Remember that you'll need to get the Sponge plugins from SpongeForge, so go to or.spongepower.org and search for LuckPerms or whatever plugin you wish to install. Open up LuckPerms and click on the versions button, then go ahead and install the latest version. Once the plugin is downloaded, simply drag and drop the jar file from your File Explorer onto your server mods folder. Now if we restart the server, we will see that LuckPerms is working on our Pixelmon server, which would have been impossible without SpongeForge. And if we type LP editor, we will see that the editor is working and we will be able to set up our permissions effortlessly from here. One last thing though, as mentioned before, as mods and plugins are not meant to be used together, you could experience instability issues and crashes, so it is highly recommended that you set up auto backup. And that's it, so thanks for watching everybody. Hopefully you now know how to set up a Forge modded server with Sponge plugins, so you can now use Sponge plugins on your server. Thanks for watching everybody, have a good day.